Y'all, we need to talk about the so-called anti-diet movement, right? Because one, it has absolutely exploded in popularity over the past 2 years, but also two, an investigation by the Washington Post and the Examination just blew the lid off the lies being pushed by many of its most prominent voices. Now, a thing that I really want to stress right here at the top is that the anti-diet idea, it started out as a well-meaning cause, right? Just trying to combat weight stigma and counter the excesses of diet culture, with it commonly targeting people with eating disorders who genuinely need help learning to feel okay eating normal foods. But when the big food brands entered the mix, they hijacked the movement to promote their ultra-processed junk foods chock full of additives, sugars, and artificial sweeteners. And the way they spun this was so fucking clever. They didn't just blatantly encourage people to just eat stuff that'll literally kill them early, no. Instead, they framed this as derailing the cycle of shame around the choices people make. Or in other words, getting rid of the bad foods, that's less important than getting rid of bad feelings. A message that just so happens, oh, what a coinky-dink, to coincide with the financial interests of companies that sell bad foods. And so we've seen anti-diet hashtags spreading far and wide on social media. Stuff like no bad foods, food freedom, ditch the diet, health at any size, calories don't count. And the reason these hashtags work is that they piggyback off of the legitimate movement to stop body shaming. But of course, body shaming is not the same as food shaming. And food companies have taken that concept past the point of absurdity. They're saying things like a General Mills executive saying a proposed FDA rule that would label foods high in salt, sugar, and fat is just shaming, and promising that they're doing everything they can to stop it, which according to the Post means lobbying the federal government and funding studies that claim their cereals are healthy. You know, and we're talking about the sugary ones like Cocoa Puffs, Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Trix. Which I gotta say, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that's my jam. It's not healthy, but that's also why I treat it like a treat. Like it's a dessert for breakfast, and the idea that labeling things correctly so that your consumers are more well-informed, that is shaming. It's so stupid. It's also not a coincidence that a statement that stupid would come from General Mills, right? It's been leading the anti-diet charge with a huge multi-pronged campaign, with them getting at least 10 registered dietitians to promote its cereals on TikTok and Instagram last year. And understand, they are not hiding these efforts. They are boasting about them. Because you wouldn't expect a food and nutrition conference to have dietitians climbing up a giant General Mills cereal box and sliding into a bowl of Cheerios. That is literally a thing that happened at the event in Denver last fall. Of course, the cereals and food industries more generally have done the same sort of thing, with the Post and the Examination finding that of the 68 registered dietitian influencers they analyzed, roughly 40% of them with a combined reach of over 9 million followers repeatedly used anti-diet language, which depending on what exactly they said isn't necessarily bad on its own, but also a majority of that 40% were paid to promote products from food, beverage, and supplement companies. And with all this, you have the Post giving examples like how one woman fell upon YouTubers advocating for health at every size and took their videos as permission to eat, in her words, whatever the hell I wanted, with them reporting that she then did that, and within 2 months she regained 50 pounds that had taken her years to lose, with her going back up to nearly 300 pounds. And again, I would need to stress this. I am very anti-diet culture. I am very anti-body shaming. As many of you know, because I've talked about my health journey over the past several years, the thing that has worked for me the best is the idea of body neutrality. That is about what my body can do, not how it looks. And a big part of that has also been changing my relationship to food. Right? For me, there are no foods. It's just realizing that some foods, yeah, they're not good for you, but that doesn't mean I can't have them. I just have to have different amounts than I previously had. I used to order 4 or 5 Chalupa Supremes when I went to Taco Bell. It would be 9 o'clock at night and I would fucking house a whole box of Entenmann chocolate donuts. Eating past the point of I'm full, like I just wanted to feel something. And unfortunately, it took me having health problems to really go like, I gotta change how I'm viewing this situation. Because understand, you should not hate yourself for being any fucking size. In here, however you want to think about it, you are not more or less because of your size. You're a human being deserving of love. But it's also important to recognize the dangers of failing to take care of your body. And while there's no shortage of examples of that, I mean, according to a 2022 Lancet study, they found that nearly 500,000 Americans die early each year as a result of excess body weight. And many of the paths that were paved to those graves, it was from lobbying money. Because it's not in General Mills' interest for you to have their bad food, but only a reasonable amount of it. They want you to have more of it, all of it, as much as possible. So be careful what you believe on social media, especially when they're the extremes. Whether it be extreme diet culture or eat fucking everything and anything that you want culture. There is nuance. There are complexities that are just fucking cast aside because it's like, we gotta make this video tight. We gotta make this thing shareable. And it's in my best interest to keep you alive and healthy so I can milk the fuck out of you when you buy beautiful bastard shirts. I'm kidding, but I do love you. Once again, I'm just so fucking concerned for people. There's just so many like unseen forces of manipulation out there, whether it be for monetary or power gain. And the victim of almost every one of those situations is everyday people.